Welcome to the shit show.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, tom. Tom, it is the All Elite Wrap-Up for, what is this, Thursday, June 27th, 2024, the year of our Lord Terry Funk.
Terry Funk.
Terry Funk.
He's so great.
You mentioned him off air. I figured we got to mention him on air.
I tell you what, yeah, he is like fine wine. Legitimately, like you make it and you're like, this is going to be great. And it is great. And then it gets better as it goes. And then you're like, well, I already drank that wine, but you remember it. And you're like, that was the best wine I ever had. That's Terry Funk. You know, great. Changes over time, but still good. And then it gets better. Then it gets better. And then he's gone.
Like us.
And then you review. Yeah. Well, easy.
Well, you better with age.
There was a dark period, so I got a little bit, I regressed, and then I got back.
But we got better with age.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is like it didn't, it dipped a little bit, and then I came back.
Yeah, it dipped a little bit. But, we're here now, even though you are desperately clinging to about 27.4% battery life on the computer there, you said, right?
Yeah, so I went to Cincinnati, being the, I was conserving energy. That's what I'm trying to say here. So I turned off all the power to my computer, right? Hey, going to Cincinnati for whatever, a week or whatever that was.
Nobody hack into this or anything like that either.
That's a dickhead thing, right? To have something on. Yeah. Conservation. That was the word I was looking for. So then I get here and then Tim's like, hey man, I'm ready. I'm like, cool. Walk down.
I'm not.
Computer 1%. So yeah, we're charging it up. I think I found a way to make my microphone work. So hopefully I don't sound too echoey for you all. But yeah, excited to talk some AEW. It was good to get out of the city, go to Cincinnati. Oh, Tim, gotta tell you the best story. Go to this diner. It's called Sleepy Bee. Very good food. On the menu in Cincinnati at the Sleepy Bee was the Joe Burrito, right?
Yeah.
I see that. And waitress comes over and takes our order. And I'm not wearing any of my Royals or anything like that. I'm just generic, baseball shorts, I think it was. And I said, this Joe Burrito. And she's like, yeah, Joe Burrow. Isn't he great? And I said, is this made Mahomes style? I said, I'm from Kansas City.
Yeah.
And then the fucking TSA agent, when I'm going, I did have a Kansas City shirt on, and they were all it was their mistake. It was all clusterfucked, right? And then they're like, hey, go this way. And I was like, okay. And like, has to be someone from Kansas City. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. These Super Bowl rings that I'm thinking about got in my head.
Super Bowl victories, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. I go, these Super Bowl rings, I got in my head. And he said, okay. I was like,
yeah.
I was
when
like,
we were in Greece.
Play Taylor Swift.
We were talking to some other Americans there and everything, and we, brought up where we're at. And the guy's like from Dallas, and I was like, a Cowboys fan? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm sorry, that sucks. And he was like, what? What are you? And I was like, well, we live in Kansas City. And he was like, oh man, I knew it. He was like, son of a, right? He was just like,
yep.
He was like, you look like a Kansas City fan. I'm like, what, a winner? Is that what we're talking about here? Winner?
I don't.
2 of 3 straight titles.
Yeah. The Dallas Cowboys are like Chris Jericho. You know what I mean? Like at one time, fucking great, but man, are they overstaying their welcome. Well, but they're just overstaying their welcome as far as a relevant topic.
Yeah. America's team.
Fucking Cowboys haven't won anything. The iPhone didn't exist. The concept of the iPhone didn't exist.
America's team is Kansas City Chiefs. Let's ask Taylor Swift fans.
Yes, I would argue New England, 20 years of greatness. But that's pretty fucking impressive.
Old guard.
I'm not saying, but I'm saying, there could be some holdovers from
boomers can hold on to that while we ride off into the new generation. Anyway.
No. Side note, one last thing, because we're just talking here, right? It's fun. We didn't got too much to talk about this week.
Look, there's only 400,000 people watching, so I think it'll be
obviously
fun.
Well, and they're interested in this. I propose something for America. The Northeast. Fuck all those states. Just be New England. I'm right. Like if you're
One
the
big
New
state.
England, yeah, just be one big state. Vermont. Fuck you. What are you? Like, no.
Yeah, can we just
Connecticut?
be like
Just be
York,
cities.
Hampshire, Montague or something? Like, let's
No, just
just,
call it New England, right? Like if
yeah,
you
New England. I
identify
wouldn't hate
as
it.
a
Yeah,
New
New
England
England.
fan, that's the fucking state. So
Tom.
Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut. What's else up there? Not New York. New York is legit different, but like
You
all those
spending
other
time around
things.
any of these folks and heard them talk about folks from
Yeah.
those other states? You're never gonna get them all to agree to this.
Well, fuck them. It's my thing. You know, like I tell them what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
As soon as I become president,
yeah. God damn it. I'm so glad we're doing this podcast. That fucking shit's going on right now. Hey, but let's not talk about it. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite. Now,
AEW Dynamite.
Got a little bit of a different format. I usually read it, but because my computer, I don't have two screens. So Tim, his wonderful voice, and you guys prefer that, obviously, is going to give you the breakdown,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to give you my 2 cents of nonsense.
Yeah. We're also going to do a special thing where we decided we're going to put this on the line. We're going to roll the dice. We have Forbidden Door coming up. It is a pay-per-view / what the fuck is a PLE. And that means we're going to make some predictions, which means
You're wearing something.
I'm
What are you wearing, Tim?
the shirt. My favorite wrestler here, Jeff Jarrett. Slap nuts.
Hey, I will say, timeout. I will say,
Yeah.
that 9-minute video where he breaks down why he's in the Owen Hart tournament, what Owen meant to him. I got to give you credit, right? Don't fucking like you, but when you do something good, I got to give credit.
You sent me that,
was
and I
pretty
said to you
spectacular.
then, I said, God damn, Jeff Jarrett won't let me hate him. Like, yeah, you
Yeah.
son of a bitch.
That one
Like,
was pretty good.
You know, I hate this guy. That is our punishment for losing the pay-per-view picks is you get to be the wearer of the shirt anytime we got to do picks or talk about the picks or whatever, right? And so right now I am the current reigning loser, if that's the thing. Reigning defending loser. And
Yeah, you're like the Chiefs. You doubled up.
yeah,
You've done
and this
2
is a
times
bit of
in
a
row.
wild card one, right? So this one could be fun, right? Like you could, like we don't really know how some of these are going to go. This is kind of an exhibition show, if you will, right? This is like a Dancing with the Stars, if you will. And so we're going to talk about that later. We're going to talk about the Forbidden Door, and you know, since I lost the last one, I got to wear this Jeff Jarrett shirt, which I got a sunburn too, so it's even worse. This thing on here, right? Nobody likes the Jeff Jarrett shirts. Jeff Jarrett has endeared himself, though, as you discussed, to us a little bit this week because of his involvement in the Owen Hart tournament, which we'll talk more about. But Tom, I am excited to talk about all the stuff. If you are watching us live in the chat, which I think there's at least 1 million people watching right now live on the YouTube, feel free to join in on the chat. Talk to us. Throw in what you thought about Dynamite as we talk about it. Give us your picks as we're going over Forbidden Door because we want to meet friends. We want to talk to you. We want you to talk to each other. You can check out all the links to find us outside of here at allelitewrapup.com. Tom, Dynamite was last night, Wednesday night. It was coming from Buffalo, New York, the Key Bank Arena, the granddaddy of them all.
The granddaddy of
Did
them
that
all.
right? The granddaddy of them all. Broadcast live on TBS. So, as we're used to, Excalibur Taz and Tony Schiavone at the broadcast booth, and they kick us off with some music. It's MJF's music. We get MJF coming out. He's got a shit-eating grin, Tom, right? He's getting ready to do his thing. He's like, cut my music, and they do. But they cut his music to play that sweet hip music. Daniel Garcia, right? Is that what we're going to call that? Yeah, and we get this showdown, right? I mean, you know, what are your thoughts on the showdown, right? It gets like, it's not even really a showdown, right? It's more of a, we like each other, but we don't.
Well, it was a little bit of a tension, right? So you come out and, you know, pro wrestling trope would say when these two are about to fucking talk some shit and then fight each other, fist fight in the ring. However, Daniel Garcia comes down and says, hey, guess what? I'm going to do something no one else does. I'm going to say some compliments about MJF. And he goes on to say, like, he gave him the opportunity for the world title. Backstage, he had mentioned that MJF sees a lot of Daniel Garcia potential, and it could be like an MJF star, a pillar, as they say. And then Daniel Garcia was like, I don't want to be a pillar. I want to be the backbone, which that's a body. So I don't get that, but I understand what he's trying to say. And yeah, we get a little bit of a compliment battle, right? Like it's a rap battle, except it's all compliments, I like the way you smell, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that was interesting, right?
Yeah, it is interesting. I do one of these. It's one of those where it's like, look, I respect you. I want you to know that like this isn't personal. You could have been somebody else right now, but here we are. And so like, hope we're cool after this. But after this is after I knock your fucking teeth down your throat. Right. And it's kind of one of those, oh, well, that's funny. I had the same idea. Right. Like, so I kind of like it, except, this leads to MJF saying what he said, I want to give you the shot at Wembley. Right. Like, I want to give you this fight.
Yeah, I don't get that, right? I don't understand. So I understand, I guess, from a certain perspective of MJF saying, I'm a big star. You know what would help you? Putting you on the same platform that I am on. But if we're, again, in kayfabe, if you're like this guy, so I guess
Let
I
me
didn't
reward
understand.
you with
Yeah, but I didn't.
me.
Right. And I didn't understand MJ because in this, right, let's just take it for face value. What does MJF gain from wrestling Daniel Garcia at Forbidden Door? He already beat him once.
The way they do this
it's a lose-lose.
The fine tuning here is it's not come out and it's like, hey, thanks, I want to give you some compliments, but like don't run down my city. It's the, hey, you're back, right? I see you're back. You're doing the thing. Before we go too much further, right? He can give him the quick compliments, right? Like, you did do this stuff for me, this whatever, right? But we're back to like, you're in the way now, right? Like, I can't get to where I'm needing because you're here. I thought you were going to go away. I thought you were going to take the money and run. I thought you were going to get out of here. And MJF can be like, oh, I did take the money. I just didn't run, right? Like, so too bad I'm in the way. Be like, if I'm in the way so bad, move me. You can meet me at Wembley or whatever, right? Like, I think that's a little more realistic, maybe something along those lines.
Yeah, it just from doing it this way, I don't understand the reward, the moving.
All your hard work is moved into a match for nothing at Wembley. Other than
for
Spotlight.
MJF's perspective, I understand Daniel Garcia, but like MJF,
no, but that's what I mean. Like I'm saying, MJF's what he's saying sounds weird. Like again, he's the face. We're all behind him, but he's like, allow me then to reward you for all of this with a battle for no reason against me. Right? Yeah, it's like
exactly.
Thanks. Again, it sounds Learning Tree-ish, right? It sounds like, allow me to bestow the spotlight upon you for a mere night, right?
Yeah.
And it's not the MJF character we're doing right now, at least that I thought.
I don't like, the babyface MJF may be on its last legs. And maybe we might have saw the origins of this heel turn because as they're kind of doing that compliment battle, before Daniel Garcia actually accepts or rejects MJF's offer, Will Ospreay walks down and he's like, hey, I'm fucking cool. By the way, Garcia, you've been wanting my title, this international title, and you deserve to wrestle for it because, man, you've been winning all the matches. Now that makes sense. There is a title, right? I'm going to give the number one contender their shot at my belt. That makes sense from challenger or champion.
Yeah, even like, not only am I not hiding from defending this title, I'm finding the contender and I'm saying it's time right now. Let's go. Right? Like,
because there is a things at stake, right? There's a winner's purse.
You don't need to call
title.
me out. Let's start this fight right now. I got you.
Yeah.
Right?
And
you don't got to find me. Coming to your door, motherfucker, the forbidden one. All right, whatever.
Yeah, and so then Will Ospreay says, next week, give you the shot at the international title, but I will also throw in the World Heavyweight Championship. Ooh. So, by doing all of this, kind of felt like, and the announcers, I don't know if you caught on to this, they even said, Will Ospreay's big time in MJF. MJF doesn't seem to like the spotlight on someone else. And what we see here is MJF get pissed off, walks right by everyone. And I would have to review, but I believe he walked out down the heel tunnel because there's two tunnels
Yeah, I
and they
don't
all
remember.
come out.
Yeah, because I
I
remember, like
believe he walked out that.
he said to Garcia, he was like, "No, I get it, dude. This is a big deal, big thing. You should
Yeah,
take,
yeah.
like
But
all that, like totally fine." But like, yeah, when he walked out, I forgot. I don't know which way he went. Yeah, the point of this whole thing, and not to discredit, like Garcia wasn't useless here, right? Or filler. Like this will help him along the way and set him up.
Oh yeah.
But this was to set up that tension of MJF is the guy. He's supposed to. I'm Mr. AEW, right? For years, it was the MJF story, and now everybody is on what we thought was Swerve, but it's Ospreay too, right? And so now we've got Ospreay acting like he's like, no, I'm the quote unquote Cena to come in and offer the young upstart the thing. I wouldn't hate it if every time MJF's trying to do a cool thing, Ospreay comes in and he's like, but also cooler, right? Like, let me do this. And I'm just like,
I think we
bitch,
may be doing that. I think,
bitch.
I don't, again, we'll get into our picks at Forbidden Door, but whatever happens, the fallout of that, we are going to get Will Ospreay versus Daniel Garcia. We could potentially get, making this up here, Will Ospreay defeats Daniel Garcia, but then like gives him a handshake. But then MJF has balloons come down to celebrate. But then Will Ospreay has pyro go off for Daniel Garcia, and it's like, great job, right? Like it's this. It almost feels like a little bit. Now that I'm kind of saying this out loud, and obviously I'm reading into this a little bit too much from just this one interaction, but it may feel a little bit like Mina and Tony Storm and Mariah May.
Yeah, who can outface and like almost like I'm saying, out Super Cena each other, right? Like you're saying, like, so Garcia comes back, does something great, or fill in the blank person, and MJF's like, congratulations, I got you some champagne. And Ospreay comes in, he's like, hey, by the way, got you a VIP party going on in here, right? And there's like 20 people in there going crazy, and MJF's like, what? Dog, I'm the, wait a minute. I'm the guy.
Yeah. And that would be interesting to see that Ospreay always gets the upper hand. Because as you mentioned, for the start of this promotion, MJF always got the one up on whoever the battle was with, right? He always got the last word. Yeah, not maybe winning the matches, but as far as segments or promos go, he would get the last laugh. So interesting way to start off the show for AEW Dynamite.
And right after that, the other key player in all of this is the World Heavyweight Champion, Swerve Strickland, who's seen watching backstage with Nana. And they're kind of like, he basically says, whoa, putting the cart before the horse here. What are you talking about? And he said, you don't have the strength to carry the weight of the world on those shoulders, but you better have your head on straight tonight in the main event. And so, a little ominous forewarnings there.
Yeah, and what I liked about this, as far as the angle that he took, was he also alluded to, remember what I said last week when this guy, he can't handle being champ. He's already given out title shots and hasn't even won it. I think he was kind of also reading into the, like, this guy isn't focused. He's just everywhere all at once. I'm focused. That's why I'm the champ. That's what it felt like to me that he was saying.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what he's saying. He's basically like, this is your downfall, son, right? Like, look at you. You think you're big time, and now we know how this is going to end. So we move into our first wrestling match of the wrestling show, and it's a trios match. We get the Blackpool Combat Club's IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and ROH Pure Champion Wheeler Yuta taking on, I'm going to nail all of this, Los Ingobernables de Japón's Shingo Takagi, Titan, nailed it, and Hiromu Takahashi. Nailed it. No, I nailed all of it. And of course, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, on commentary for this match. They did kind of, I felt like some of this was set up to have a discussion with Danielson, it felt like, too, right? Like, while the match was going on, it felt like maybe more of the story was about Danielson. Would I read into some of that wrong?
No, I think you're right. I think there was a little bit of this idea that, the match is happening and all of that is cool. But what's really going on is, why is Bryan Danielson so interested in Shingo Takagi?
Nailed it.
You know, so I like that. I like Bryan Danielson on commentary. Jim Ross, God bless him, is unfortunately dealing with a lot of health issues, right? But even kind of at the start of AEW, he was used as there's a big match. We've got Jim Ross to call it, right? If you're going to have Bryan Danielson stop being a full time wrestler, I wouldn't hate if he has a tie to a main event for a big time world championship match. He comes out on commentary. I faced John Moxley. I faced MJF. I'm just making up those two names. So I know and because he's really good on commentary.
He
I
is
think he's
good.
great.
Oh, and I think, kind of, and, might be piggybacking off what you said, especially as he moves more into not wrestling and wrestling full time and more of that backstage presence, whether on screen or not. That would be helpful. Yeah, I do agree. And this match, again, as you could expect, all over the place, but it ends in basically nothing, right? They throw it out because of chaos, right?
Interesting, I thought, because I don't feel like AEW does that. Typically, we have
We don't.
finishes.
Yeah. Now,
so
I think, parts of these groups will be meeting again, right? So maybe they just didn't know which way to go here, right? And they were like, forget it. We'll just leave it tense.
And one thing that I noticed about this match that I thought was interesting was the timing was off. And I get it. Maybe you've never wrestled each other, language barriers, right? Hey, watch for the shoe and, you don't see it, that kind of stuff. However, this is where, as we started this episode talking about with Terry Funk, I think one attribute that needs to be worked on, my opinion, across the board is not 450 splashes. It's how can you still make this believable when the shit hits the fan, right? Because there was a lot of Shingo going like, hit me, or Moxley going, okay, I'll put the arm, Moxley, we know can get a little crazy if things fall apart, but I'm just saying kind of industry standard. Like, I don't think that when our big move set here, fucking something doesn't happen, that the wrestlers know what to do other than pin, right? Oh, 1, 2, and then kick out. And then
one of
get
the
what I'm saying?
reasons I have not liked the hold your hand wrestling, as we call it, or the flips and shits, right? And though we've said it's super impressive, right? That, guy, you get up there and, we've known some of these guys, right? Where they're like, did you see what I did? I did a 680 into a back thing. And I'm like, I mean, yes, I saw it's impressive. But what I also saw was the opponent having to stand here and do this for 20 seconds when, again, I know we're supposed to be, believing, but you're making it too hard to do so. When the guy sprung up and was like, oh shit, it's this spot. Now I got you guys, we don't have the benefit, right? Again, if we were doing stunt work where, like you said, we called stop, time out, right? Roll tape, make a cut right here. Amazing stuff. But the timing's off when you're doing this live in front of folks, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think that deals more with the believability of selling. Cause like you said, they're waiting there. That's what they're supposed to do. I'm getting more at neither one of us know what the next spot is.
Oh yeah.
Terry Funk, and again, I'm just using him because he's the greatest. Terry Funk would just start punching you in the mouth, or he'd go outside the ring and grab Jimmy Hart or something.
Exactly, just pretend to fight.
Guys, there needs to be a little bit more of that, I think, because I noticed it a few times in this tag match. But as you mentioned,
especially when we're doing a trios match, though, and if you know it's going to end in chaos, then just bring some chaos as a default, right?
Yeah, man. Let's talk about, so as you mentioned, end of chaos, or the end of the match is chaotic. John Moxley's standing there. They're all fighting. And old Naito comes out, right? And full transparency, I've seen a few of his matches. I think he has the charisma of a Penta, of, the cool guys that don't speak English, right? Okada also has a little bit. Obviously, he speaks better English, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. However, this
looks like the guy would be a drummer in a rock band or something, right? If you met him, you would be like, you in a heavy metal band or something. You'd be like, he just has a charisma, like you're saying, that you're different.
But if we're doing chaos and you have Moxley standing there with his dick in his hand because you're just doing first off, it took him a while to get out. Like the music was playing for 40 seconds. Then he's just coming out. God damn, man, come to a screeching
Well,
halt with this.
and again, chaos because everything's going crazy. Everybody's hitting stuff with everything. And then Naito comes out, and suddenly now we all have to stop and stare, right? Like, again, why isn't this, you know what I mean? Like, why aren't we like full on just attack mode riot if these guys hate each other? You know what I mean? Like, let's.
Yeah. I felt like Naito was just slow as molasses to just get ready to the point where John Moxley just was like, fuck this, and attacked him. And you could see Naito get this like startled look like, oh shit, I'm still taking off my, rip away shorts or whatever the fuck they were.
Yeah. I mean, like,
And
we should have, like, yeah, instead of like, just like you're saying, the long slow stare, like, I would have, like, he should have hit the ground running, just showed up. We should have started dragging each other all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they got into a little fisticuffs, right? Like,
yeah.
But it didn't feel.
It didn't
again,
feel.
I thought, yeah.
It felt stiff.
Again, we may not be the target audience for the Forbidden Door, right? You may detect a theme if you're new to us here. Like, I think we don't watch New Japan on a regular basis, right? So maybe some of these hit home for other folks that maybe catch this more frequently, right? I think this is more of an oddball event for us in the AEW calendar than some others, perhaps. But what happened next on Dynamite? We got an Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament quarter final where the Unified World Trios champion, 1/4 of the Unified World Trios champion, Switchblade Jay White, with the Guns and Juice Robinson in tow, battled Rey Phoenix with Penta El Zero Miedo and Alex Abrahantes. Nailed it. I mean, thoughts on the match before we dig into it? Like, anything you want to that jumps off?
Here's my thoughts. This is my thought of the whole thing. I think I even posted it on our Threads account. The Lucha Brothers fucking rule. And I think by default, if you need a tag team, use them, right? Like, they are the new best friends. Now, they were kind of already that as it was, but my main thought was, wouldn't it be fucking cool if like these two kind of got away from each other a little bit and just shot to the moon? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying make him world. Well, I am saying make Penta world champion. Rey Fenix, though, you can't put him as the Ring of Honor heavyweight champion. You couldn't put him against Will Ospreay for the.
You could certainly be ROH Pure titles. Champion if Wheeler Yuta is.
Yeah, but there's too many fucking titles, first off. But
yeah,
I just feel like we need some more folk. I don't know anything still. After how long have we been in business? 5 years. I still don't know anything about Rey Fenix other than his brother is Penta. I would like to know more about that.
Well, and if you weren't confused enough, we then get Christian Cage and the Patriarchy to walk down to the ring.
I like this.
Stare these guys down and then kind of.
Yeah, so Jay White gets the victory over Rey Fenix. And said on Collision, Christian Cage and his family, the Patriarchy, said that they're the best trios in AEW and they're going to go prove it. And as you mentioned, they go walk up just to say, smell our asshole, and then walk back. I love this. This is fun to me when you have two almost opposite type heels, right? Jay White and the Gold Club
they're the smell
are all
my
about
dick, DX
heel. Woo woo, look at all the gold.
What are you gonna do about it, right?
Yeah, woo, all that. Where the Patriarchy is like, no, we rule because we're gentlemen.
You will fall in line.
You will fall in
line.
line.
We're up. Yeah, they're upscale a little bit, right? Like,
well, even to you. Yeah, even to the fact that, like, I feel like Christian's heel philosophy is that it's a philosophy. It is obviously everyone should bow to me. Life. Where the Gold Club is just like, this is fucking fun. Chaos, boom, 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 guns. Like,
yeah, they are fuck your way of life. Whereas Christian Cage is like, my way of life is the best, and you all should pay heed and follow. Right.
So to get those two people, and
especially when they're both heels right now, like, it's interesting. Yeah.
And I don't know if you caught this as Christian was walking up, because as we've talked about in the past, when we were at Dynasty, one of the biggest pops was for Jay White, right? Jay White wins, fucking the place goes wild. Well, here's Jay White staring down Christian, and you get a "He's our father" chant. This will be interesting to see how Jay White can handle this, because up until this point, Jay White, even when he was with the Acclaimed or whatever, was kind of like the star, right? We all knew like, okay, if
Yeah.
we're gonna pick one main eventer, it's gonna be him. Now you're going up against a legend and Christian, and the people are kind of behind
One of the
that.
best heel workers in the business on the mic,
Oh,
ready
yeah.
to run you
Oh
down.
yeah.
At what point do we get Christian Cage in the father gimmick and daddy ass Billy Gunn? like hitting each other, right? Like when do we get that? Obviously Billy
A
Gunn's not a
fight.
big enough character, but like,
Oh, just a fight for fatherhood? That's what you would call it.
yeah.
A fight for fatherhood. Daddy ass
Yeah.
versus the patriarchy. Christian Cage. Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Love it. All right, so after this, we get our executive vice presidents, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. They are also your AEW World Tag Team Champions. They're backstage, they got their headsets on, they got their titles on, and they're like, "Hey, bitches, like you took advantage of us." I like the point where he said, "You took advantage of us. You used the foreign objects we brought in the ring, and you use it against us." Like,
Yeah.
I like that little quip line, and they were like, "It's gonna be different when it's really on the line." And they were like, they bring up Scapegoat. He's going to win his shit. And then they bring up the little nugget of, remember, we kept discerning who's the wild card. They know who the wild card is. They signed the wild card or have arranged it. And that person is going to run the gauntlet, they say, and take it home. So what say you here?
It is my guy right here. It's the Hangman.
I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna steal your weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Hangman. I think I have character-wise, I have fallen in love with the heel gimmick of Hangman Adam Page going crazy. I still think all of this when he comes back, if he does, right? If we're saying he's the wild card and it's to crown the TNT champion, I still think his main motivation is I'm going to be so successful to put it in Swerve's face. I still think that Swerve needs to be his North Star, where it's like, yeah, I'm doing this and this and this, and we're fighting but fuck Swerve Strickland. Like, that's what I think it should be his motivation.
So again, we have picks coming up later, but he could be a reason for a sudden ending of Swerve's.
Yeah.
He could have two fronts going on right now.
I mean, look, we'll get to our picks. I'll share let's put a pin in that, and we'll get back to it when we do our picks. But I think, who do you think the wild card is? I've shared my thoughts. Do you agree?
I mean, I do think it's Hangman. No, I really do think it's Hangman right now. Just for that, I don't know who else, unless it's somebody that like WWE let go a while ago and hasn't been signed, haven't picked up, that we haven't been thinking of or something. But like, I can't think of that. Or if it's somebody like really tied to Owen Hart, right? Somehow, some way, right? We're gonna bring in Davey Boy Smith or some nonsense, right? But like, now that we've said it's a young buck pick and they're like, it's gonna be a thing. I feel like it almost has to be somebody like Hangman. It's gotta be somebody who can make some noise, right? That'll be here for a while.
The other, dark horse pick is, and I don't know who the person would be, but it would be someone tied. Well, no, someone tied to Okada, right? Because so far it's been the EVPs and we're
Okada.
bringing in people, right? But because he already has his title. Remember, he's got another one of that. But someone, because, and I'm not trying to be whatever here. It's just an observation, but it's 3 white guys and an Asian man, right? Like, we don't need more white guys, because then it kind of looks like a token, right? Like, oh, just for diversity, we've got Okada. So I wouldn't hate someone from New Japan that he has a relationship with joining the group to add a little bit more diversity. Again, I think I speak about this every week. I need diversity in my wrestling. I'm tired of just seeing white guys, but if I had to put money on it, I'm still going to say it's the white guy, my favorite, Hangman Adam Page.
I love it, man. I love it. What else did we have from him? We had something fun that he said, right?
Well, he says he cuts, right? Like, he's like, turn it off, go, turn it off. And
I was talking about Hangman.
I will knock your dick in the dirt.
Yes. I love Hangman.
Hangman. All right, so after that, We get the ire of the EVPs. We get the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. They come out and they do the shtick. They do the NWO Wolfpack. You know, everybody gets
No,
in
they
their
don't
shit
though.
here. Well, right, they don't get it all in, right?
Max Cat, look, I think Anthony Bowens does a great job. I obviously think that Billy Gunn can do anything you really need him to do. Max Caster, in my opinion, looks lost if he doesn't do the rap. When he just goes out there and is just like talk, don't rhyme. I think he kind of gets all over the place. And I don't know if this is a I'm not trying to diagnose anyone here. I just don't know another phrase for it. I don't know if it's an ADD thing or a attention, like I'm too nervous in front of
Sure.
people, not doing anything, but he's scattered all the time too. Like
Yeah.
I'm okay with don't stand there stoic, but like it's
He's
distracting
bouncing
sometimes.
around all over the
Yeah,
place.
when Anthony
I agree.
Bowens is talking, you get all these like hump in the air shit from Max. It's like, my friend, just do the rap then, because like you're weirding me out over here doing the
A bunch of
non-gimmick thing.
nerds.
Yeah, he looks kind of like a bunch of nerds. But yeah, this was fun,
Yeah.
except for it didn't make any sense.
It didn't make any sense. And then we get, again, a Forbidden Door is coming, and I know it's part of the thing is we get people coming through the portal, right? The glory hole, as we used to call it. So now we've got Tanahashi, and he's coming, and he's going to
Well,
help
let's talk about that
fight.
though. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's talk about how this happens. So the EVPs come out with Okada and they said, hey, you know what?
And it's a bitch.
How about this? Well, they say, yeah, he does the bitch thing. Okada does.
Mhm.
But then they essentially, paraphrasing here, they essentially say, hey, how about this? There's three of us. There's three of you. Why don't we fight 3-on-3 at Forbidden Door? In which Billy Gunn grabs the microphone and it was like, you know what I would love to do more than anything else is just kick your ass right now, but I'm not going to. And we've got someone. And they play this prepackaged video of Tanahashi, which, so did you know they were going to challenge you? That makes no fucking sense.
Right,
How you
yeah.
already had a video ready.
Yeah, you got a video ready for a fourth person in a 3-on-3. Like, now I'm confused. Yeah. I don't...
Well, Billy Gunn's not going to be in it, right? Billy Gunn says,
so he's just
Tanahashi,
stepping aside, is what he's
Yeah.
saying. My
Yeah,
fill-in.
that's why he said, I'd kick your ass now, but I'm going to step aside because we have someone. But the logic flaw is they never told you before this
unless you were
interaction.
staying ahead of the game. But I would have said that, like, we knew you were going to do this, chumps, right? Like, so we're smarter than you. We're a step ahead of you. You're dumb.
Possibly, but still, look, are they fucking Doctor Who over here that can tell the future? Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, if anything, I would switch the challenge, right? You flip it, right? You have them call out the EVPs, be like, hey, we heard what you're just saying back there. You guys, we want to make sure that everybody is aware that you are indeed some dorks, and we need you to come out here and let's address this. And then come out and be like, well, listen, we know, let's have a little trios match then at Forbidden Door, and they'll be like, fine, and be like, oh, but it's not.
Yeah,
It's not him.
It's not Billy Gunn. It's this guy.
Him, right? Yeah. They'll be like, you son of a bitches, right?
Tim, that is so easy to do what you just said, because the logically what you could say here, if we go with your way of doing it, which I think we should have, the Acclaim could just be like, hey, we beat you 2-on-2. Let's just make it 3-on-3. Like, we'll do,
Right.
We'll keep bringing the numbers up. But
Yeah,
this
they
time,
could be like, oh, and old man daddy ass, and they'll be like, oh, well,
it's Okada's
funny.
favorite guy.
He's got the night off. He's got to go to a softball tournament or something. I don't know what's going on, or what, you know what I mean? Something.
Yeah.
Say something, right? Yeah. Yeah.
And so we get Tanahashi, which, if anyone doesn't know, which I think you would all do know if you're listening to this podcast, Tanahashi, Okada, that is like the, Hulk Hogan to Macho Man, whatever you want to say there. So that's cool that at least we get a legacy feud from New Japan being brought into AEW. I do think that is kind of
Yeah.
neat.
And so after this, we get another backstage segment. We get Renee Paquette, who's still awesome in this role. I think she's still
best.
batting 1,000.
The best.
She's hanging out with the newly named conglomeration, right? We get ROH World Champion Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, who I still don't understand why he's here, and Orange Cassidy. And, pumped for the ladder match at Forbidden Door is Mark Briscoe. We got Kyle O'Reilly trying to imitate Mark Briscoe's promo style. He sucked. I like Mark Briscoe being like, but look, I got 2 shoulders and only 1 title. Well, I'm going to have to get that other one, right? And we're ready to whoop on some tricks, right? So were you moved? Were you ready to run through the wall, or what's up?
I didn't like this at all. This jumped the shark. This was one too many.
I agree with
Because
that.
here's why.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 felt organic, where they're all talking about it and Mark Briscoe just takes over, right? Let me tell you something, right? Oh shit, okay, we're all listening to Mark Briscoe. And then that's what gets everyone fired up. And then
and it was legit organic, because you could tell, like, Adam Copeland and everybody was like, what is happening right now? They were kind of like, just roll with it. Yeah.
So this time, however, was Renee Paquette, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly looking at Mark Briscoe and was like, dance, right? And it's like, well, no, that's not how it works. He just kind of is wild. You can't, right? You don't make wild happen. You don't just say, now dance, wrestler. And so that didn't work.
It becomes a 24/7 title.
Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly is, yuck, brother. I don't.
We say this with all love because he's a friend of the show, but like, man, this ain't whatever this
play
is.
the fucking nerd thing. That's what I felt. That was.
Oh yeah, yeah. Where did that go? Yeah, right here. It's right here.
A bunch of nerds.
But he'd probably say that we
The podcast that no one listens to.
And that's fine. I just do this to talk to you.
Right, bitch.
Okay, we're just hitting every button now.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just do this to talk to you. I don't give a fucking listen to that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're gonna have this conversation. You all can get involved in it. We want you to get involved in it, because sometimes, we're just saying the same thing to each other after a while, right?
No.
We've heard every story, but so that's where you get in. You can talk to each other. You join us live during these live streams. You can follow us on the threads, all _elite_ wrap up Tom live threads during the shows. Everything's great. But anything left on this before we get back into the Dynamite happenings? I mean,
let's go back into
dead in the water. We had a trios match. We had wait, is this right before the main event?
Nope.
No. Trios match. We got Saraya, Anna Jay, and Harley Cameron taking on AEW Women's Champion Timeless Toni Storm, Mariah May, and Mina Shirakawa. Antics, I guess, are the best way to describe a Toni Storm match these days, right?
Well, yes. My thought is Mariah May fucking rules. I love that she comes out with Toni Storm in the black and white. She is doing the exact cosplay of the old Toni Storm gimmick.
Yep.
Scene, right?
Yep.
Toni Storm makes her way into the ring. Then she puts on a jacket, because then that doesn't look like Toni Storm.
Right.
And she does the choreographed dance with Mina.
The whole overly choreographed.
Fucking great. Like, Mariah May has not missed any opportunity.
The entertainment value from this trio, and Luther, throw that in there. All of this is top notch, right? They are going all out. They leave no stone unturned when they go to entertain the crowd. I love it.
Yeah, this was my match of the night. I like this match more than any of the others because of the storyline progression. It also made sense. We'll get to the main event, which, again, I don't like the can they coexist. This had a little bit more legs to it, in the sense that the 3 women that they were opposing actually attacked them, right, and talk shit on them. And Mariah May is saying, hey, I need my friends. These 2 are friends of mine. So it makes sense why the can they coexist, because there is a link between the 2 of them and a common enemy, which is the other 3. So I thought this was great as far as that went with the can they coexist. And yes, the antics were fun throughout.
Well, and they could coexist until it was over. And then Mina gets a little jealous, right? And goes to hit Toni, who ducks. And now these tables are turned, right? Usually Toni was the one left looking like the bad one in the situation, right? Like, even though she's been, like we said, largely supportive of this weird, I don't know, thing that was going on. So now she got to be the one being like, you get out of here, right? Like, I can't believe you did this. You just leave us alone, right? Like, interesting going into Forbidden Door, where we're left there, don't you think?
Yes, I do think that that is very interesting. One other note that I think we should bring up is the lead up into this match. I believe it was after Dynamite when they do those post match promos. Mina said something I thought that was very interesting in the sense that she said, "Hey, I get that this is a forbidden door, but I'm staying here." That
Yeah.
makes it a little bit more interesting because it's kind of agreed upon that after Forbidden Door, Zack Sabre Jr. goes back, Tanahashi goes
Tanahashi's
back,
gone.
and then we're
Ichi's
just,
gone. Right?
yeah, we're
All
back.
yeah.
But Mina's no, I'm fucking staying here. I want that title. And she says, I was better than you at Stardom. I was better, and I'm better than you at AEW, and I'm gonna win that title. I thought that was very interesting. I like that aspect of the promo that she gave post match.
Yep. Well, did you like the next promo? We had a TBS champion, CEO Mercedes Moné, and she's got strong words for the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Champion Stephanie Vicker. Nailed it. Ahead of their match at Forbidden Door. Basically, she said, "Look, I flew all over the world to watch you. Where you at? I'm here now. You're nowhere to be seen. Got a match Saturday at Collision. Bringing it to you." Which I don't hate this idea of like, we throw stars in on Collision, right? And let's see if
Yeah.
we can get some ratings over there or whatnot. So fine. I mean, this is fine. Again, the promos are better from Mercedes Moné when they're not live in ring, right?
Yes, this was, yeah, of her promos so far in AEW. I like this one maybe the most. What I also liked, one thing that I hope she runs with, is she made more sense of the CEO thing. She said she's the CEO of women's wrestling. That makes sense, right? I run women's pro wrestling. And again, she could do the delusional, I'm the greatest of all time, all that stuff. That's fine, whatever. But now we have something that logically makes sense because if you walk in saying I'm the CEO, the fuck you are. Tony Khan's there. And guess what? Let's just say he doesn't exist. All these EVPs are also fucking running things and you're not. So cut the shit. But if you take the angle of, a different way of saying I'm the best here, saying that I'm the CEO of women's pro wrestling, I think that is cooler than what she was doing previously.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. Again, Forbidden Door buys us some time, and we'll see what she does next. I think is where I'm really interested with Mercedes Moné. I think we've discussed enough on like how you can accentuate the positives, right, and get her in some matches, have a few promos more like this vignette, but where do we take it, right? What's the story we got to tell next? I think is what I'm interested in. Anyway, what happened on Dynamite was your favorite segment of the night. The FTW champion, the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, came to the ring with the Redwood Big Bill and the Bad Apple, Brian Keith. And Jesus, this was as bad as it's been, right? They're droning on. They're using bad puns. He's, trying to lean into it, going too meta to be worth the shit here until we get a bit of a payoff. But before we get there,
Yeah, here's the thing where it looks desperate from whoever approved it. Maybe it's Jericho himself. But if you know kind of thing. Earlier in the week, Cody said over in WWE that one of the big red flags is if a veteran or a part-timer comes back and they say they're just here to help the young wrestlers. That's the red flag that that actually they're there just to make all the money and get the spotlight on them, right? So then
which
you
was he
fast
talking
forward.
about CM Punk when he said it? But anyway.
Well, so fast forward to Dynamite, and
Yeah.
the first thing Chris Jericho says is, "Hey everyone, I'm just here to help the young wrestlers." And look, let's just let Cody go. Let's just let him go. I don't.
Yeah. Well, he's gone.
It,
As far as I'm
well, because
concerned.
it's one thing, when Max Caster brings up Vince McMahon and being kicked out of the company, right? That is a news story across everything in
Yeah.
our bubble,
Yeah.
right? Cody saying whatever that fucking thing was in an interview.
Yeah,
It's
no.
not
Unless he's
not a
doing
blip.
something big. If Cody gets a DUI, then you take a shot at Cody, right? If Cody,
Something.
you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
If Cody
Or if Cody-
loses a squash match to Brock Lesnar next week, you make fun of Cody maybe, right? But like I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to bring up CM Punk, only reason is like if he pulls a Titus O'Neil and falls running to the ring, right? Like
Right.
that is a time that is appropriate. But you look really small and kind of cheap to be like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, remember what Cody said? Now I say it. Ha ha ha. I didn't like that at all. And then to your point, the whatever this is,
Yeah, so we
malarkey.
get him saying, "Hey, I've got somebody to wrestle with you guys, right?" And I don't even remember if he said it was Suzuki or we just go to the video pack. I can't remember, but we get Murder Grandpa and we get Suzuki, and he's like, "Yeah, I know you want me to do that, but fuck you." Like, or paraphrasing, he's like,
Well, because he
"Bitch,
even
it's
said,
on. It's me and you."
well,
Like,
yeah, because he even said, what's this learning tree bullshit? Like,
yeah,
I don't,
he was like,
that's
"I don't like
stupid.
you." Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I don't, yeah.
No,
No,
not
yeah, he
liking that
says
at
put the
all.
FTW title on the line, and it's you and me. And so I'm assuming, that's what we're gonna get here. We'll do our picks here later. But Forbidden Door, Suzuki, FTW title, Chris Jericho.
No, really? I
That's what he
didn't,
said.
I thought it
I mean,
was
that's what
just
he
a
said.
challenge.
No, he said, I don't want to wrestle by your side. I want to wrestle you one-on-one. Are you trying to avoid me because you're scared? You're not chickening out, are you? I hate your soft way of thinking now. The learning tree, what is that? I want nothing to do with anything like that. I will not be your partner. Instead, you put your FTW title on the line and you wrestle me.
What? Yeah, no, I heard that, but now I don't, that doesn't make sense. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because the next part of this segment was Samoa Joe, uh, Hook,
Yeah.
and Shibata saying, see ya at Forbidden Door. So what the fuck are we doing?
Well, I think we're going to get, is it just going to be maybe Joe and Hook versus the other two guys, maybe? Or something like that. Maybe Shibata doesn't wrestle. I don't know.
Well, then what the fuck was Murder Grandpa saying?
Jericho and Suzuki are going to wrestle.
But not at Forbidden Door?
Yeah.
Or is it, what the fuck is happening? Am
We'll
I
find
dumb?
out. We got picks later. We'll look at the matches. We'll see what's up. We'll see what they say.
Yeah, am I stupid here? Because I thought it was just Murder Grandpa saying at a future date, I will face you for the FTW championship. Because he does wrestle from time to time in AEW, just popping
I mean,
up.
he didn't
wrestling
say
Bryan
at Forbidden
Danielson.
Door, but he said instead put your FTW title on the line.
Yeah.
They don't have it on their website here right now, but maybe we'll get there. I don't know. But they don't have any match with them right now
Well,
on
then
there.
that
Maybe
makes,
Collision will sew something up.
yeah, because again, anyone listening to this later, we record on a Thursday night. So anything that happens at Collision, we will talk the following episode because obviously it's not Saturday. So yeah, we'll maybe not pick that one because we don't know what's happening. But we got Samoa Joe after this, and he's talking his shit. Here's the thing. I even posted this on Threads. The shitty part of this whole thing is it's Jericho. But at least we're getting cool guy Samoa Joe. Because did you catch at Collision? They did a trios match, and I don't remember who the wrestler was, but they jump off the top turnbuckle, and Shibata sidesteps it, and Joe's like, "Hey, buddy, that's great." Like,
Yep.
I thought that's fun. That was cool.
Yep.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, well, what I didn't like a lot was our next match. We had Kyle O'Reilly taking on the guy who looked like he just came from the Catalina wine mixer, Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Closed his last sale at Wall Street and then put on his underwear and ran to Dynamite.
This felt like this ought to be on ROH, if I'm being honest.
Here's the problem. I'm being very critical, I know, and that's fine. But here's the problem I feel like with different styles of wrestling is it gets a little bit too far on the other side. So, for example, I like Lucha Libre. I think where I stop is, and I'm using it just as a barometer, is Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, right? That's the level of lucha I like. Once you start doing the Vikingo, I'm out, right? That's too much.
Yeah.
This style of wrestling, and again, I'm just using examples, not saying that this is my line here, but with this style of wrestling, Kurt Angle, and I'm no offense, Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit is where I like it.
Right.
Once you're doing, I'm holding my arm, kick it right there, or jump and all that, then it's too
It's
much.
the same
and
thing
I
I'm
don't like
talking
it.
about. The timing is off. It's too much. I'm left with too much time to sit here and think, why is he standing there waiting? Why is he like holding his arm out here before he comes around to hook it? Like you wouldn't hold your arm like that. Like little things like that, right? Like, yeah, I don't get the chant of "This is wrestling" from the fans because again, I'm like, man, no, it's not. Like this is right. Like it just
Well, so
it's too
here's my
choreographed
point of
and
view.
takes too long to make it look real. Right? It's just too
I
far
agree.
away from real.
I think generally speaking, just across the board, I think maybe, and this is a PSA, I guess you could say, pro wrestling needs to get away from acting like it's a low budget action movie and getting back to it's a fight,
It's a
right?
fight, right?
Now, the thing that I don't like, and I want your opinion on this because we come from different perspectives. The thing I don't like with Zack Sabre Jr., Kyle O'Reilly stuff is when they're doing rear naked chokes
Yeah,
or they're doing anaconda chokes, whatever it may be. I can fucking see no. Now that's because I do it, right? Like, or I
right.
did it before my tumor, but you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what the fuck are you doing here? Now, from your perspective, are you saying like that looks like bullshit, or what do you think when you're
That,
seeing like,
and then it's also like what these guys also engage in is like okay, now it's I'm going for that armbar, but you counter and we drop down and I roll over and now you go for the leg and I drop kick and I go for a Pele kick, but you duck under and I miss and now I grab your foot and now we roll and like it's all that chain thing, but like it's where again the timing is off, right? Like you guys have all right, now it's time for our 28 set step maneuvers, and like on about 14 and 15 you start getting a half a second off, and on 16 it's a full second, and now we're like, oh wait, was this and I'm like, guys, like you lost the veil of like, I know you guys worked together on this backstage and you worked out what the spots were, but now I see you working through it, right? Like it doesn't feel real, right? Like it's I don't know. Again,
yeah,
it's like you said, you're not going out there and acting as if this were really happening and you went, oh, right now I would fucking grab your neck and put you in a choke. It's like, it's choke to hip drag to toss into the thing. And it's like, it's just two step for step for step for step for step for step. And then that, again, would be fine if your fucking timing was crisp and there wasn't any spot where we knew, like, you ready for spot 17? Right? Okay, good, check, right? Like, do it. You lose me when that happens.
yeah. Yeah. Again, I would say, generally speaking, across all different genres of pro wrestling, except for strong style, which I'll talk about in just a second, I think we need to get away from thinking that this is an action movie
Yes.
and more like this is a fight in front
Yeah.
of fans.
Because again, to me, yeah, what pro wrestling is we're seeing a little bit behind the scenes, right? If you will, we get to see like behind the scenes of this wacky, unregulated world of a professional fighting organization, right? That's traveling the countryside, putting on these fights with prizes on the line, right? Championships and money
Titles
and shit,
or whatever,
right?
yeah.
And like, yeah, it's not a spectacle of right. Like when you go to fight, that's where you lose me on some of the aerial guy things, right? It's like, I get jumping from a top rope down onto somebody, more force down, but I know physics to know twirly bird up in the air before you do it doesn't mean fuck all.
Yeah,
You
I
lose
get
me
that.
with it, right? Like again, you're not being an efficient fighter there, right? So you kind of lose me. Yeah.
Now, the thing I was going to say though, before we move on to the main event, strong style, you guys aren't fucking tough because the other person lets you kick them as hard
Yeah,
as you
that's
fucking
going too far the other way, right? That's going too
That's-
far the other way. And again, it also incorporates some of the things that I'm talking about with the O'Reilly thing. It's where it's like, it's strong style. It's like, I'm hitting you real hard, but like, I know now's the spot where you hit me really hard. So I go, and I hold my chest out and I wait. Like, why the fuck would you be doing that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. Like, you would punch that guy in the face. Like, come on. Like, a little bit more realism, right? I understand it's not real, but like,
yes, but not again, you're not fucking cool or tough because you have the strongest kicks in pro
yeah.
wrestling.
You know who is cool and tough? Fuck Yo Mama 2 times, who is in the chat right now. He says, "What up, boys? Sorry I'm late. Just getting back from seeing Lord Stanley. These hockey players really know how to stunt with the cup. Vamos Gatos." Yeah, celebratory mood over there.
Man, let's take a quick side quest. Game 7 was kind of boring until it wasn't. That last fucking 2 to 4 minutes was insane. Just da-da, da-da-da, da-da. And Connor McDavid felt like had 900 shots, and Bobrovsky's just like, fuck you, I got this one. He was at one time fucking ass over head, blocking the shot with his leg fucking touching his nose. It was insane. Thought it was great. Here's my side question for you. Heard this earlier today. I was going to just ask it to you, but now I'll just ask it to you on the podcast. And if you have an answer, send it to us on Threads or in an email or in the chat. One day, everyone gets with the cup, right? If you're on the team, you get the Stanley Cup one day. Now, people have, drank out of it, taken it to the movies, put popcorn in it, all this shit. What would you do with your one day with the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, I feel like I'm the type that I'm going to try to go for something humorous and zany, right? I'm going to try to put it in some kind of like bonker situation, right? Like, so I can't even, I feel like it's shitty to try to come up with something on the moment, right? Because I feel like you got to come in depth, right? But I'm going to like, where would be inappropriate to have suddenly a big, gigantic trophy, right? Like,
Oh, I mean, a lot of places.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't want to go too inappropriate. I don't want to like cause a scene where you shouldn't, right? But like, where's a good thing where like you're gonna be interruption, right? But you're gonna be stunting on folks. I'd almost take it to the losing city and fucking start parading around with that goddamn thing, if I'm being real honest. Depends on how testy that got, right? Like, go to that city and start wheeling
get the Pope-mobile, right? Get the Pope-mobile and put it in there with you and be like, fuck you. Yeah, that'd be funny.
Or here's what you do. You go to the other city with a fake one, right? And let them start fucking with you, and then, like, oops, right? Like, you oopsie drop it, and then they'll be like, you son of a bitch. And you'll be like, right? Like, oh no.
Boston kind of did that when they won the NBA finals. They went to Miami, which I know they didn't beat in the finals, but that is a rival of theirs, and partied with the NBA championship down in Miami. I think what I would do to have fun is I would get like a film crew, not like a movie, but you know what I'm saying, a small crew of people to film. And I would take the Stanley Cup out on a date. I would film everything. I would knock on the door.
I love that.
I would have it there. I would take it to dinner. I would, and then like, at the very end,
clicking the lights up.
Kiss. Well, no, give it a little kiss because we're at the door, right? Give it a little kiss and then look back, and then we go inside and we shut the door. Well, that'd be
love
funny.
it. So you wouldn't do the Bootios with Steve Austin's pale ale instead of milk out of the.
Look, man, if you want me to do that again, if we get some views, I'll do it. I fucking because he's got that Austin 316 beer now. He's got that American lager, so we could try it again.
That's right. I don't know. It'd be less bitter, right, when you're trying to eat with the cereal. That actually might be a better choice. All right, well, Tom. Our main event is up, and of course, it's a main event, a go-home show of a pay-per-view or a WTF is a PLE, and that means you have a gigantic title match at the PLE, the pay-per-view, whatever. So that means you've got to put these two guys in a tag team and see if they can coexist. And so we get AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana and AEW International Champion, the Aerial Assassin Will Ospreay with nobody, versus the Gates of Agony, Toa Leona, and Bishop Khan. And this is can they coexist, right? And they coexisted again long enough to get the victory, right?
Well, here was my first thought is the Gates of Agony in their traditional garb of Samoan, and then I believe
impressive looking.
I don't remember what the other
one said. We've talked about it before because somebody mentioned it here.
Yeah. So fact check me later.
Tongan?
But
is it Tongan?
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
But their presentation of just walking out, I was like, that's a fucking tag team.
Gambia.
Right?
Fuck your mama 2 times says.
Okay. That's a fucking tag team. You know what I
it
mean?
Is.
Put some titles
that's
on
what
those
I said
two
before,
guys.
right? They look like a tag team, even though they're not dressed exactly alike, right? You see these guys and you're like, it's a tag team.
Yeah. Here's what I would also do. I get the one guy with the crazy eyes and he's so nuts and stuff. I would, if he has the charisma, it looks like it jumps off the screen. Whatever Scorpio Sky thinks that he is, have the fucking guy in Gates of Agony be. He's got the 8-pack. He looks the part. Like,
Yeah.
make him the leader of this
Scorpio Sky
tag
thinks
team.
he is.
Scorpio Sky thinks he's so, oh,
Yeah.
look, I turned off the lights. It's fucking, get out of here, you generic geriatric. What is he, 63?
He won that big gold hemorrhoid donut though.
Yeah, but remember he also wrestled in the 40s. Like, fuck
Wasn't he
outta
trying to
here.
steal our gimmick into a podcast?
Oh, did he end it with a snap?
He probably did.
What a fucking nerd.
Snapping Scorpio. All right. Speaking of Scorpio, Too Cold Scorpio.
Hey, that's fucking great. No, stab a motherfucker if they're trying to beat your ass. I condone that
yeah,
100%.
I get that. The police, however, don't seem to condone it, and that's the issue he's running
What's
into
a police
right
officer,
now.
you know? Look, you respect your legends. Too Cold Scorpio is a fucking legend. He is a trailblazer that does not get the recognition he deserves or doesn't get the recognition he
It
does
probably wasn't
deserve.
even a knife. He probably just had his
Yeah,
gig
little
ready
razor
to
blade.
blade with,
Yeah.
right? And he was like, oh,
Picking
yeah,
up
I got
his
right here.
You
Too Cold
step-
Stabio. That's what
but
fucking
you don't
love
step.
sometimes.
Yeah, don't step to Too Cold Scorpio. We heard from an anonymous source, we won't reveal who it was, but that potentially Too Cold Scorpio is living in Kansas City.
Been here a while, and we didn't realize.
And if that's the case, let's hang out, man.
Well, and it might have been us asking for that. It might have been us like, hey, listen, you want to come on a podcast? Why'd you stab me?
Yeah.
Love it.
You know, kind of like when we were saying, like if Shawn Michaels was on, what would we do? And I was like, I'll read the fucking Bible with him. I don't
Read
care.
the Bible, that guy. Yeah, I don't.
I'll go stab people with Too Cold Scorpio. I don't give a fuck.
I'll
Like,
go hang out at Love's at 3:40 in the morning with Too
Anyway.
Cold.
I'll go anywhere. He is the fucking coolest. I'll recreate that fucking music video he did in WWF. Remember that with the fucking girls in the basketball court? I'll do all that shit, you know?
Fucking
Yeah.
shank in hand. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Hey,
don't
man,
give a
I'm down
fuck.
to come out. I'll be hanging out. I'll bring the video cameras. Let's do this.
Too Cold Scorpio.
Set it up. I'll do all the production later. We'll get it all set up.
Side note, and then we'll get back on
We
track.
get Tech Nine involved in it on this, man. Let's do a local.
That would
Kansas
be
City.
cool. Hey, we know some connections who know Tech Nine.
I'm saying it's wrestling
but-
based.
Yeah. But
Killer
I was
City.
just looking. I was looking at it because I was looking at this. I was thinking about it. Too Cold Scorpio needs an action figure. We need that as a legend. You know, we got fucking Harley Race over here and shit, and they deserve it as well. But Too Cold Scorpio, man, legend, especially of this style, doing the fucking tumbleweed off the top rope. Remember that when he would fucking jump and it would be a leg drop, but he'd do like a front dive too? Fucking
Yeah.
rule, man.
Oh man, he's badass, and like, yeah, again, ahead of his time in so many
And he
ways.
still wrestles. Check him out in
And still does it.
GCW.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still does it. Yep. And so at the end of this, we got Ospreay getting stood over after Swerve, right? Gave him the old whatever he calls it, right? What does he call that? The
Yep.
house call.
Oh.
Sorry, house call.
The finish
yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
So the end of the match, who cares, right? They win. But unfortunately, because again, I think they should be a stronger tag team, Gates of Agony, that is. But I did like the very end of this. This could have been a promo and you ended it this way. But with Will Ospreay just being, again, getting a little ahead of himself as he started off this show, giving out a title match that he doesn't even have the title for. He ends this with just grabbing Swerve's title. Well,
Swerve's like, "No,
them's
you
the
don't."
breaks, kid. You got fucking kicked in your head because you grabbed something that wasn't yours. I fucking love that. That made me like Swerve
You
more.
don't touch
more
what ain't
way than
yours in
Ospreay.
Swerve's house.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Take your shoes off and don't touch anything in Swerve's fucking house. Like, I love that. He should have even
Yeah.
said, them's the breaks. No, he shouldn't have.
Yeah,
The reason I thought that, side quest, the reason I thought that though is I don't know how I came across it, but I was looking into British politics. I don't know. They have a election July 4th. Do you remember Boris Johnson? Remember that fucking weirdo?
Oh yeah,
When he, when he fucking resigned? He said this last thing that he said. Fucking idiot. He said, "Them's the breaks."
Of all the famous political speeches from the Prime Minister of England. And then M's the breaks. Was it even M's the breaks? It wasn't even like TH. It was like M's. Well, just it was like apostrophe EMS. M's the breaks.
A fucking country that goes back to like ruling the world. Now we got some fucking bozo.
Well, they're all posh,
Them's the breaks.
Got a Simpsons character running the goddamn. Well, hey, we got the same situations here, man.
But okay, them's the break. That's the best political. Okay.
Yeah, it's a great sign off for your like what if President Obama's last words leaving the White House were like, "But I got to kick rocks." Sorry, you know what I mean?
I hope
that's how it is. Is what it is, guys.
I hope that's my last words. Them's the breaks.
Them's the breaks.
All right, let's get into picks. Okay.
All right, so Forbidden Doors coming up right now. Like we said, we may have Jericho versus Suzuki, but we don't know, so we can't pick it. Them's the breaks. We just don't know. Tom's still losing his shit over there. Fuck your mama 2 times says Churchill never said that.
It's been invaded by Hitler.
Yeah, he didn't say that. He did say brother smacks himself down. All right. Tom, Forbidden Door right now as of Thursday, June 27th, 2024 on AEW's AllEliteWrestling.com. They have 9 matches on the card, so we will pick those 9 matches, and you will lose, and you'll get this goddamn shirt. Oh my God. This Jeff Jarrett shirt right here, slap nuts.
Oh, you're going to keep it. You know why? Them's the breaks.
I still have this guy's email. I might have to see if we can't get surprise appearance by the chosen
by Boris Johnson?
Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, by
even better. Them's the breaks.
Oh my God, that's the best. Okay. Sorry. Yes. 9 matches.
That's what Hitler said on his way out. I was like, well, them's the breaks.
Just think of any historical moment and put that at the end. It's the best. Nixon.
Yeah.
Them's the breaks.
Them's the breaks. Ask not what your country can do for you.
JFK shot in the head. Them's the breaks.
We did fuck your mama 2 times in the chat. Fuck your mama 2 times in the chat. He said, did you see Double J's promo, by the way? And yes, we did touch on that earlier.
Yes.
And we said, goddamn, Jeff Jarrett won't let us fully hate him. Like, he just trying to have something to hang on to. January 6th, them's the breaks. Hey, now we might get Trump saying that. He's going to be like, oh, them's the breaks. No more democracy. All right, anyway. Okay. Tom, we want to forget about that right now. We want to talk about AEW and keep us happy while, the world burns. Tom, Forbidden Door. Let me zoom in so I can read some of these. We got in the 0 hour, we have a tag team match, a women's tag team match. We have Chris Statlander and Momo Watanabe, nailed it, versus Tam Nakano, nailed that, and Willow Nightingale.
Oh,
Willow and partner wins this, right? 0 hour. Ooh, no, it's Chris Statlander. We're trying to push her. Eva, what do you think? What's your thoughts?
I'm going Statlander because she is going to be facing Willow in the Owen Hart tournament. That's where Willow gets the win there. So you got to build to that. So I'm going Statlander here.
Then I'm going to say, let me get our little lists ready so we can keep track of this. So you're going to say Statlander.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Willow then, just so we can be different, right? 0 hour, who knows? Willow. We're going to get
Willow.
I know you love that. I know you love it.
I love it.
All right.
Love it so much.
All right, next up on the card right here, Thursday night, AllEliteWrestling.com. We got a trios match. Tom, we talked about it, Hiroshi Tanahashi and the Acclaim taking on the Elite, Okada, the Young Bucks, at Forbidden Door. Who wins?
EVPs.
Mm-hmm.
I think we may be getting the Acclaimed as our tag champs. So EVPs need to, get one back before they lose the titles. I wouldn't even, don't even, Matt Jackson pinning Tanahashi could be the way that this ends. You know what I mean? Like that could be a realistic way.
Yeah, if anything else, as weird as it sounds, Tanahashi might be the one to take the pin here, right? Because he gets to go away, right? And that's they don't care, and I don't feel like the Elite are ready to get egg on their face quite yet, and especially for this moment, which again is kind of meaningless, right? So I agree with you. I think EVP's on this one, so we agree. Well, we get a TNT Championship ladder match, and this is interesting. We got Mark Briscoe, Dante Martin, Takeshita, Jack Perry, Lio Rush, and a yet-to-be-named person. Will this be named by Collision? Do we know that? I forget how this is one that's working.
I believe so. Going back in the history of our podcasting when we were the Spanish announce table, was it Lio Rush that was asking for the chicken wings and bullshit?
No, that was what was his name?
ACH?
ACH.
Okay.
Yes.
I get those confused sometimes because sometimes I'll look at him, I'm like, I don't fucking like that guy.
He said, yes, I would love to do the interview with you guys, but one thing, he's like, I asked all the guys this, can you send me some chicken wings to eat while we do the interview? And I was like, I'm sorry. I just didn't even respond. I was like, I don't even know how to answer this question. This is weird. He was like in Florida or something. Like, what am I going to? This is pre-Uber Eats even. I was like, how am I going to do that?
Fucking weirdo.
Like, dog, did I not tell you that we're broke as all right.
Well, but I'm going to go. So we don't know the mystery person. So, that could affect it. But as is right now, the ladder match to become the TNT champion. Actually, Tim, you go first.
Yeah. I think we're going to go. I feel like it's the only reason I think it would not be Jack Perry is if this mystery person that gets it, unless I'm clued in on who it could be, is somehow there to fuck with Jack Perry, right? And
right.
Or an outside interference fucks with Jack Perry. So I'm going to pencil in Jack Perry here because I think it's going to be more of the EVPs, you know what I mean? Smell our dicks. 4 titles, right?
Yeah, I think it's the, corporate overtaking, even though the champion isn't part of this, all the titles group, I think, Jack Perry.
Yeah. All right. So you're going Jack Perry as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes
Come
sense. It just makes sense. I mean, like the only one I think, like, again, Jack Perry could get taken out by somebody or distracted, and then I would say I feel like it's Takeshita, right? Like if I had to follow up on that, right? Like out of the
Don Callis and family fucking around makes it happen. Yeah, that could happen.
Well, men's Owen Hart Foundation tournament quarterfinal. Bryan Danielson, Shingo Takagi nailed it. Danielson.
Mm-hmm.
Danielson. Yeah. Danielson. I'm just gonna write that both for us. Danielson. I ain't even putting Takagi's name down here. Danielson. Yeah, right. There's no reason here for Danielson to lose a match.
No, the heartbreak comes at the end, not now. You know what I mean?
Right. Title for title match, which I didn't realize this was title for title. Mercedes Moné, the TBS champion, versus what is it? New Japan Strong Women's, right? Stephanie Vacour. Mercedes Moné.
Because that title was made for her and she never got to hold it because she got injured in the first ever title match. So now she's got to hold it, probably breaking kayfabe, probably because of some contractual thing that she said, I will be your champion for X number of matches or whatever. So yeah, it's her 100%.
Yeah. That'll be fun. All right, AEW Women's World Championship is on the line when Timeless Toni Storm defends against Mina Shirakawa. What say you here? Because this one could be interesting. I don't know that we've like this storyline has been great, but I don't know that we've
Fantastic.
built Mina Shirakawa as like ready to be a champion. So I think somehow she may not win the match, but Toni Storm retains that title.
Yeah.
So
This could be
I'm gonna say Shirakawa, but like disqualification, right? I'm gonna say
okay.
Shirakawa wins,
Okay.
but does not win the title, right?
So that's your pick, right? Well, we're saying doesn't win the title, but that is your pick. I like that. That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go timeless Tony Storm. I think Mariah May oopsies and hits Mina somehow or trips her or does something. Tony wins. Tony maybe looks at Mariah May and was like, were you trying to do that to me, but you did it to me? Right? Like I'm going to grab the foot, but it's a reversal of an Irish whip. She ends up grabbing Mina instead of Tony. And then Tony looks at her like, you bitch, something like that.
Yeah, fuck your mama 2 times says WWE finish for Tim. Maybe that's what I'm conditioned. Yeah, I picture something like she's going to cheat. She's about to get away with it. She hits Toni Storm with something, but right as thought she was getting away with it, Luther had just come to and managed to shake the referee just in time to see it.
Yeah.
And disqualification, right? Or whatever.
That could happen.
Or not disqualification, I guess, because I said win, but not win the title. So other way around, like maybe Toni Storm does that, right? Or something and gets disqualified or something along those lines, right? So we get a winner by DQ is what I'm thinking somehow, some way, right? Yeah. All right. The last match we've got listed here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I do this right? Or did I skip some here?
Mm-hmm.
Let me back out here. Let's see.
I don't know what you're looking at while we're talking about it.
TNT title. Oh, here we go. Now here's another one. Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. Orange Cassidy.
Final answer.
No. Because we still have some best friends issues hanging around, don't we?
Damn it. I was hoping you would.
I think Zack Sabre Jr. wins.
Damn it. I was hoping you were going to fucking say that. I got Zach. I got Zach because Trent fucks with Orange Cassidy.
That's exactly what's going to happen. That's right. Yep. Because I forgot we still have unfinished business here with Cassidy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
4, 5, 6, 7. So now we have 2 more matches. That's right. Here we go. The IWGP World Heavyweight Championship is on the line with Tetsuya Naito, nailed it, versus Jon Moxley, the champion, the reigning, defending IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And Moxley wins this, right?
No, I got Naito.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Taking it back, right? Just small little blip for Moxley, like a little thanks. Here was your prize of being champion for a little bit, had a little run, and now we're back home.
I think Naito is a big enough person in the New Japan world to beat Jon Moxley. Yeah.
Could be.
Unless it's Okada, right? You get what I'm saying? Like Naito is the one. Evil isn't a big enough name. Like I know who Naito is. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I casually am aware of New Japan. So I think that him beating Moxley would maybe hopefully get someone like me to watch New Japan is what they're trying to do.
Could be. Well, then the one we're all here for, the AEW World Championship is on the line.
You go first.
Man, it feels, everything screams Ospreay somehow comes away with this title right now, right? Like we got the Swerve Strickland standing over him at the end. We got him doing all this stuff of like being the cart before the horse, and MJF's pissed off about it. So nothing has led me to believe that yet we're on a like Will Ospreay needs to be humbled, right? Like storyline, right? So, I mean, wrestlers think Will Ospreay needs to be humbled, but like Will Ospreay doesn't need to eat shit because like he shot for the moon and missed, right? That would make him look like a chump. It makes me feel like. But I also do, as we discussed, it's a bad look to end Swerve Strickland's title reign fast, right? This is a really tough one. But I could see Hangman, right? Swerve Strickland wins this. Swerve Strickland stays the champion. That's my final answer.
Yes, you are correct, because the part you forgot, Will Ospreay doesn't need Don Callis. Will Ospreay said he can do this on his own. Of all the WWE finishes we could potentially have, I think it comes in this
Right
match.
here. Yep, you're right. You're right. And fuck your mama 2 times agrees. So, Tom, we have picked 3 matches differently. You said Team Statlander will win in the 0 hour, whereas I said Team Willow will win. You said Tony Storm will win, hand raised, still champion. I said Mina Shikara will win, but not win the title, right? Somehow will be the announced winner. And Moxley Naito. So what is your tiebreaker here? Lest we were to tie, which I don't think we could, but yeah, here we go.
If we do, my tiebreaker, so that you can keep that
We
hideous
could tie
shirt.
if one match doesn't happen or something, right? And we it gets booted off. Yeah, okay. Right.
So that you keep that hideous shirt. My tiebreaker is Tony
Fuck!
Storm.
Shit! I was going to say Naito. God damn it. I want to keep wearing this fucking shirt. God
keep that
damn
fucking
it.
shirt. Keep that shirt. Keep that fucking shirt. Keep that shirt.
I'm going to email Jeff here tonight.
Keep that
I'm going to
fucking
sign
shirt.
this thing so the next time you have to wear it, it's fucking signed. To Tom, my biggest fan.
Oh God, that almost made me cringe. Like I got the chills just thinking of how fucking
To Tom,
itchy.
thanks for all the support over the decades.
Oh my God.
Thanks for being the president of my fan club, Tom McCullough. Or excuse me, they can figure it out. They have Facebook.
Yeah.
Tom. All right, Forbidden Door, I think it's going to be one of those where we go, man, matches were awesome. Cool thing they did here in this, storyline or two, right? We may get some stories with like Will Ospreay thing here, but like, I don't think we're going to come away with this going like, we said they've been on a hot streak. I don't think we're going to be like event of the year here or anything like that, right? I think we're going to be like this. If I think best case scenario, we would come away being like, man, that was an A-.
So here's the thing. I think if your enjoyment of pro wrestling is strictly the matches, this could be the event of the year.
This could be your year, yeah, or your thing.
For us who like stories and advancing of stories and things of that nature, I think this will be oh, hey, remember Forbidden Door? I think that's how we're going to view it. Now, with that being said, there is a big story with Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland in your main event. So I will give them that. And even Tony Storm and Mina is a good storyline with Mariah May stuck in the middle, right? So they've done a little bit better than in previous years where it was just Mid-Carter from New Japan, Mid-Carter from AEW. What will happen? Right? So there is that. But as I mentioned, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, I'm just not a fan of Forbidden Door because it feels like the AEW version of Survivor Series where we make up all these things so that they can fight. And then as soon as it's over, we don't talk about it again. And it's like,
until next year.
Yeah. And so I don't enjoy that because I like stories.
Yeah. Like storylines even, right? Like not short stories even, right? Like, yeah. Anyway.
I like stories.
But we like, all of you, we like Fuck Your Mama 2 times in the chat. We like anybody that else that would have joined the chat that did not. You know who you are. So join us next week when we do this live on Thursday, right? Thursday next week?
Yeah, I'm good.
We'll let you know.
I am good to go.
Sometimes it has to happen on a Wednesday. And if you want to know, you want to be up to speed, go to allelitewrapup.com. Sign up there. It's completely free. You'll get an email and we'll say, hey, we're going live tonight. And that way you can be up to speed. But you can always catch us, aewrapup@gmail.com. Send us some emails. Talk to us there. Follow us on the threads. And we got some baseball to watch and some stuff to get to tonight. So we'll just leave you there while we play the outro music, right?
Them's the breaks.
Them's the breaks.
Time.